Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Happy New Year's, guys. How we doing this Monday?
Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Go ahead,
I admit it publicly.
No.
They stunk yesterday. The Cowboys stunk, and Dak is back in a slump. Back in a slump. But you know what? I am here to predict they will still haunt you in the playoffs.
No, I want to see you do what you do.
Yes.
Do it one time for
I
me.
can't.
Why not?
Because they don't deserve it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Kyler Murray deserves it. How about that, Kyler? Doesn't he?
Kyler.
Yeah. Way to go,
Skip,
Kyler.
today is a special day. Today is my mom's birthday. I know she's watching. Mom, your baby about to give it to Skip. I'm about to give it to you, Skip. Uh-huh.
All right, we'll get to the Cowboys in just a bit, but we have to start with the biggest story of the day yesterday. Tom Brady and the Bucs survived the 28-24 victory versus the Jets, but the story of the game was Antonio Brown. AB took his helmet off and shoulder pads off in the third quarter and stormed off the field, waving to fans as he left. Now, after the game, Bruce Arians told our own Jay Glazer that he tried to get AB to go back into the game twice in the second half, but the receiver refused. And then the coach went on to tell the media that Brown is, quote, no longer a Buck. Shannon, how surprised were you by this?
I'm not surprised at all. I foretold of this.
You did?
I wonder
Well, wait, time out. You said it was great that they brought him back. That's what you said.
Skip, I said the only reason they brought him back. This was never about, remember Bruce Arians said he had a soft spot in his heart. I told you they shouldn't have signed him. Remember last year?
I know, but I said they shouldn't have brought him back.
Skip.
No?
I said they shouldn't have signed him from the beginning. So if they don't sign him from the beginning, we're not even here. You said they should have resigned him. You said he had a special relationship with Tom Brady. Okay. You co-signed that.
I know, but just 2 weeks ago I said this is going to be a disaster. This will blow up sooner than later.
I said it was going to blow up last year. They shouldn't have signed him, Skip.
All right, go ahead.
Here's the thing, Skip. It was just a matter of time. The fake vaccine. We saw this in Pittsburgh. You saw it in Oakland. You saw it in New England. And you saw it, and now you see it in Tampa. Skip, the only difference between this and all the other incidents is, you know what it was, Skip? It was caught on camera. Him not coming to practice, him missing meetings, him getting his feet wet and going into a cryo chamber and getting frostbite, him not going to the walkthrough at a hotel ballroom in Canada, him sending out the latest pictures and the address about when he was in New England. The only difference is with this, we got an opportunity to see it publicly. There's something about that camera, Skip. Remember when we watched the Jordan? Now, this is a totally situation, but to see a man die on camera, we've seen other situations where people have died in police custody, but we didn't get a chance to see it.
Nope.
We saw this. We saw AB basically pull his pants down and show his you-know-what to the world. Take his shoulder pads off. Mike Evans, O.J. Howard tried to talk to him. Come on, bro. Don't do that. AB, come on. Let's get back in the game. Yada, yada, yada. Throw his pads. Throw his gloves. Throw everything. Peace out to the crowd. And guess what, Skip? Even to this day, people are making excuses. Shannon, he needed 33 yards for $300,000. He needed a touchdown for $300,000. He needed this many catches for $300,000. Still condoning his behavior.
For his incentives.
For his incentive. Skip, last year, Tom Brady in the last game got the man $1.5 million. Just force feeding the ball. Skip, he just force fed him last week, 15 targets.
Never seen anything like it before.
You know, Tom, if it comes down to it, Tom gonna get the man his money. And he did this because this is who he is. Skip, we go back, you and our first year on the show. He did what he did in the locker room after the Kansas City game. Skip, I said, I'm done.
Playoff game before they were heading to New England.
He went Facebook Live. Facebook Live in the locker room knowing that's sacred.
And his coach was speaking, and his inside words got to go outside on Facebook Live.
So, Skip, this is what we see from AB. When AB doesn't get his way, or if you tell AB no, he's going to buck. AB had a problem in Pittsburgh because he saw Ben getting treatment privileges that he didn't get. So if Ben didn't practice, he said, well, if Ben doesn't practice, why do I have to practice? He started coming late to meetings. And you know what? For the longest time, AB's greatness have allowed him privileges that everybody else would have never gotten. Things got straight pushed to the side. Well, but hey, that's AB, bro. He gonna go out there and give us 10 for 15 instead of just AB. This is the way you need to act. And now it's grown so much. How do you control it? BA thought they could control it. Even Tom thought he could control it.
Yep.
Until guess what? It got so big, even he couldn't control Frankenstein. And then Frankenstein started consuming. Mike Tomlin couldn't control it. John Gruden loved him, Skip. AB, he's going to lead it in energy. He loved him, spoke glowingly about him when he was in the booth, and went out and gave him $30 million. Even Coach Belichick, Skip, you know Coach Belichick, but Coach Belichick says, we get him into our culture, everything will be okay. This is who AB is. And until people stop giving him passes, oh, Shannon, you jealous of AB because he's better. AB got the bag. Skip, remember he going on Facebook Live talking about free at last. Oh, AB, free, let me spread my wings. Now what? Skip, it's just a matter of time. This thing gonna die down. Now, he won't get signed this year, but somebody gonna feel.
I don't know about that.
Somebody gonna feel they can do it, Skip.
I don't think so.
Well, so what? They did it with Pittsburgh. He went to Oakland. He went to New England. Tampa gave him a chance. What? Give him a year. He'll say, hey, I don't want to speak because I take mental illness too serious to try to equate it in this situation. But the problem that I have with people, they never mention mental illness when he was in Pittsburgh, when he was in Oakland, when he was in New England. It wasn't until he showed his butt to the world for the world to see. And now they want to give him that. And I just can't. It might be Skip, and I hope if he gets the treatment, I hope he goes and gets treatment. Because this is not normal behavior. Yep. But not coming to work is not normal behavior if you have a regular job, Skip. Nope. You and I both have to come to work. We can't say, you know what? I ain't coming today. Hey, man, Shannon, what happened? Nah, I just ain't feeling today, bro.
Okay, I hear everything you just said. And yet, when they brought him back after he got busted for a fake vaccination card, which is a felony offense now in this country.
He was on the zero tolerance.
Supposedly allegedly zero tolerance, said Bruce Arians a year ago.
Love how you use allegedly.
Yeah. And once Bruce Arians got emasculated by Tom Brady, yes. I believe that's what happened. He got completely undercut. All of his credibility and authority in the locker room got undercut because Brady said, BA, I got to have him.
Well, it started last year then.
They had just lost Chris Godwin. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you want to replace Chris Godwin, I can't think of a better way to replace him on the field or on paper than with Antonio Brown.
Correct.
Who is probably Tom's favorite target on the team, even a little above Rob Gronkowski, who had fallen into Tom's doghouse. So Tom said, BA, I got to have him. And if you'll let me have him, watch what I can do with him against Carolina at home. To your point, he threw him 15 balls in his first game back after a 3-game suspension and all those weeks that he missed with a bum ankle. He threw him 15 balls and he caught 10 for 101. And basically, you just handed the keys to the city over to Antonio Brown. You basically, as you said, recreated the monster. Well, you fed him, man. Yes. You just said, here, you are blessed because you are our savior. You're it. You have completely empowered AB to be AB again. And again, I respect the mental illness part, but at some point, you have to face the facts. That they just completely empowered a guy who, once he gets the power, wherever he's been, you saw what happened with the Raiders. You see it again and again and again. He just self-destructs.
Especially once he feels you need him. You got to have him, Skip.
Okay, this is a got to have him, and that's what he thought. So I did text with somebody who's close to AB, and this is the version of what they heard directly from AB about what happened yesterday. Remember, the last ball he caught was at 6:33 of the second quarter. This happened in the third quarter, and they're down 14 at this point, right? Okay, so his version is his ankle is still bothering him and that he was sucking it up and taking one for the team to even be out there. Right away yesterday, it shocked me that Tom started to go back to Gronk. And I told you last week, Gronk had fallen into the doghouse, remember? He'd gone from 11 targets and only 2 catches in that debacle against New Orleans at home on Sunday night. He had fallen all the way to 2 targets against Carolina And one, he just dropped in the corner of the end zone, and you could see Brady mouthing as he ran up the sidelines, "What's he doing?" And I told you, he's doghoused. Well, I guess Brady decided he liked the matchup against the Jets because they were singling up Rob.
Right, it's a matchup thing.
Okay, it's a matchup. That's all he cares about.
Yes.
He doesn't care about this or that. He'll try to get AB his balls. He'll try to get him his incentives, but he's also trying to win the freaking game. That's all he cares about in the end. And he got a matchup that he liked with Gronk. So in the first half, he was favoring Gronk. Right. He was singling Gronk because he was singled.
Right.
And AB's like, do you realize I'm the savior, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's out of the game, and BA goes over to him and says, "Why don't you go back in the game? We got to get you your incentives." He told him this on the sideline. Right. We're going to get you your incentives. Yes. He needed 5 more catches and 88 more yards. 5 catches gets him to 333,000. This is all going to total to $1 million.
But Skip, we still got a game. We still got another game. So even if he doesn't get it all the way,
there's a whole other game against Carolina at home.
That you just caught 10 for a buck on 1 on 15 targets.
Okay. So it's all sitting right there. It's all done. It's going to be a done deal. They're going to get it for you. Right. You need 88 yards to get to 333,000, and you need 1 touchdown catch. Just 1 more to get to 333,000. That's 333, $1 million. Okay. It's not end of the world kind of money, but because he's on the minimum, they all were pulling for him. And when Brady said after the game, we all care deeply about him, I don't think that was a bunch of BS. I do. I think they do care. I know Tom Brady cares deeply about him.
The question you have to ask yourself, Skip, is why does a guy this talented have incentives in his contract?
Okay, good question.
Because of the behavior, because we can't trust you. We know if we give you this money, we give you $15, $20 million up front, you're going to give us your butt to kiss, just like you did the Oakland Raiders, just like you did Pittsburgh.
I'm assuming he tried to shop around in the offseason because they just said, "Here, this is all we got. You can shop," and nobody was interested.
No takers.
So he said, "I guess I got to kind of crawl back here, but this guy loves me, this quarterback."
Right.
How many second chances did Tom Brady give Antonio Brown? He gave him one at New England. He gave him one at Tampa, and then he gave him one after the fake Vax card. Right? That's 3 chances.
But you know the only reason he was there was because of Tom.
Only
from the beginning, he had no room for Antonio Brown.
Okay, so here's the bottom line to the story. I was told that Brady went over to him at one point and said, "Hey, what's up?" And he said, "I guess you're going back to your boy Gronk, aren't you?" And Tom was just shocked by it and said, "Oh, come on, stop it." And he said, "Yeah, okay, I'm going back to Gronk." And it made Tom got mad. For the first time, he was biting the hand that fed him during the game. And you know and I know there's one rule in the game. You don't mess with this kind of stuff during battle, according to Tom Brady. If you want to talk to him later, if you want to talk to him on Monday or Wednesday or whenever, that's fine. But not here, not now. Right. And then we saw in the fan video that Mike Evans tried to go over to him and console him a little bit. Say, come on, just calm down. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And then you could see Mike Evans finally just turn away from him and say, "Okay, I give up."
Yes.
And when Mike Evans, because he's one of the nicest guys in the league, and when he turns away, then I said, here we go. Melt down. Yes. And here it went, and we get the uniform thrown in, we get the gloves thrown, the undershirt thrown into the stands.
Him piecing
and he's piecing out. And it felt like, okay, you're saying goodbye to the NFL. You know, you're saying goodbye to your career as well as to the Jets fans, right?
Right.
Okay, so in the end, I blame Tom Brady a lot for this, because he just kept enabling AB. If we want to use a psychological term, he kept enabling. He kept saying, "I'll give you another chance. I'll give you another chance." But he would tell him, I'm sure, I don't know the exact conversation, but you got to stay in bounds here now. You know, you can't, you got to, and by the way, Brady got a Super Bowl out of it, right?
Yeah.
And AB caught 5 balls in the Super Bowl and 1 for a touchdown. So that's pretty good. And I credit both AB and Tom for pulling that off last year together.
Yeah.
But at some point, the more you feed the beast, the monster, the more potential it has to completely rise up and bite you in the butt. And yesterday, it bit him. And I felt good for Bruce Arians, because after the game, I think he just seized back control of the team. I don't think he asked anybody. I just think he stepped right to the media podium and said, "That's it. He's no longer a Buck."
What choice did he have?
None.
After the man took it, was stripped down with bare chest, running up the field piecing?
I feared that maybe he'd say he'll be gone for the Carolina game, but we'll have him back for the playoffs. I feared that. But obviously, Brady signed off, I assume, in the locker room. At least Brady accepted, okay, that's enough.
Well, even after Skip, look, you know, for like 14 years, Skip, you covered a little bit of my career. And I said the thing was that John and I, the relationship that we have, is that I'm not going to show you up. You not throw me the ball, or you throw me a bad pass. I'm not going to do that. But all I ask is the same token. If I drop a pass or if I have an MA, missed assignment, you don't do that to me. We'll discuss it after the game. We'll talk about it on Monday. Let's try to find a course that we can both get on the same page. Everybody be happy.
Okay.
But I would never go to him. You gonna feed Rod today, huh? You gonna get the ball to Eddie Mack today, huh? You forget about your boy now. Remember me before they got here. I would never do that.
Okay, now here's the irony, the bottom line to this discussion. This is Brady at his greatest. I think he got angry with AB, and he channeled his anger into the end of the game. So they're 93 yards away with no timeouts at the end of the game. And guess who he force-fed the ball to? The guy who was in place of number 81, the new quote-unquote AB, Cyril Grayson, who is on his 8th NFL stop, undrafted out of LSU because he didn't play football at LSU. He ran track. And we know he can run, but can he play football? Well, he looked pretty good in the last drive because it was him and Tyler Johnson, who was a 5th-round pick a couple of years ago out of Minnesota. Okay, so that's what you're going to, and there was no Gronk in this drive. There was no Gronk. He didn't go to Gronk at all because I think Brady said, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show my team. We can do this with who we have left.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is that they started doubling Gronk. They said, we're going to make you beat us with someone else.
All right.
Because, I know Gronk can beat me, but do I believe Cyril Grayson can beat me? Do I believe Tyler Johnson can beat me?
So could we see those throws that Brady made? 93 yards and 9 plays. These are the completions. Here's the first one. Guess who? That's Tyler Johnson. And then here's Cyril for 6, just a little one for a first down. And then we got Cyril again, a little pass for 6 more. And then we go to Tyler Johnson. This is a big 3rd and 4. That's 3rd and 4, and he completed that. So it looked like the drive might stall there. And then here's the big throw to Tyler Johnson that got them in position to take a shot. And then he goes Cyril on a little stop route. And I think that kind of set up what's about to happen because he gives it a little shimmy shake with the shoulder fake. And then he just throws a rocket to Cyril Grayson. That could have been AB. I don't know, and I think it meant a lot to Tom to say, okay, I'll take it. I'll just take this guy who's been on 8 different teams. I'll throw him the ball, right?
So, Skip, not to get away from the game, because I think we'll get an opportunity to talk about the game. So which is it? AB says his ankle's hurting, but then he tells Tom, you feeding Gronk, huh? So was it about the incentives? Was it about the ankles? Or was it about the fact of the matter that someone other than himself was getting the catches? So I need his supporters to get the line straight. Now, which is it?
Okay.
Because y'all keep making excuses about he wanted incentives. Oh, he was hurt and Bruce Arians was forcing him to go back into the game. Or we didn't know this about possibly what the discussion he and Tom had on the sideline. So I need everybody to get the lie together. So I will need somebody to reach out so y'all can pool your lies. Because you condone his behavior for the longest time. You made excuse after excuse for his behavior without holding him accountable. So what is it going to be today? So I need everybody to hop on my timeline like you did yesterday, all 70,000 of you that responded. Get on there and come up with a plausible explanation for why this man behaved like this. He's the only guy that skipped. You don't think other receivers have been upset when I see a guy? What about Jamar Chase handling for $1.66? Hey, man, I can't get none of that? Skip, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm trying to win a game. I don't give a damn about Antonio Brown's individual stats. Mike Evans was a Pro Bowl receiver before Tom got there. You got to be willing to sacrifice. You cannot achieve greatness without sacrifice. The greater the sacrifice, the greater the achievement. That's how it works. And maybe everybody doesn't want that kind of achievement. Everybody doesn't want to be great, Skip, and I'm okay with that. But Antonio can't expect that it's got to be all about him and damn the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are in business to win games. If you can get individual stats in the course of winning games, we're all for that.
Agreed.
But that can't be the number one. That can't supersede winning.
And by the way, you could remind your followers that in the first quarter and a half yesterday, Tom did throw AB five balls, and he caught 3 for 26 with a long of 21. He had one big 21-yarder. So it wasn't like he was just shutting him out, right?
Right. And Gronk had 10 targets. Okay, fine. But Skip, we know that he make it seem like Gronk a bum. Like Gronk an undrafted free agent. Does he understand what Gronk is?
And does he understand what Tom Brady is? Because you know how Brady works.
Yes.
He doesn't care whether it's Mike Evans or Chris Godwin or any pro. It just depends on what he sees.
The matchup.
All that matters is who can get me to the end zone the fastest,
the quickest.
Right?
Skip, you have to understand, and I get Tom as oh golly gee whiz and all that, but that's a man. That man has emotions. You can't challenge him like that. I don't care who you are. You cannot challenge another great player and expect him to stand down. That's just the way it works. That man, Tom Brady, I promise you, the greater the player, the more pride that player has.
You got that
and
right.
if you challenge him, okay.
Hey, Tom Brady has been Antonio's angel, his angel, again and again and again, to a fault, his angel.
Yes.
I can listen. I promise you, AB will not find another Tom Brady out there.
No, not. Skip, forget the player. The person for Tom to like, bruh, BA, we gotta have. I'll keep him in check.
Trust me, I got it. I got you.
I'll keep him in check. Skip, it's kind of like a child with parents. The child acts up in school, does wrong, you go blame the school system. You blame the teacher. You blame the principal. He gets in trouble. Oh, somebody wronged my child. You make excuse after excuse until you just run out of excuses to make and just realize, you know what? I got a badass child. They run out of excuses, and now they finally realize AB a mess up. AB brought all of this on himself. This was not media driven. This wasn't media created. AB created this. We reported this. And you got blamed at the messenger for telling you that he was effing up. Ain't nobody mad at OB. I mean, there are a few people like, man, this is the last straw for me. The last straw? The man, he vandalized your car. That wasn't enough. He stole all your belongings. That wasn't enough. He burned your house flat to the ground. And then you say, you know what? That's the final straw for me, bro. I can't do it anymore. I'm out.
And obviously, we don't have enough show to detail all the incidents he's been involved in over the years, the sexual assault allegations, sexual misconduct allegations, the throwing furniture off the 16th floor of a condo and nearly hitting a kid at the swimming pool.
Oh, the beating up the moving van, the moving company people.
Oh, Lord have mercy. It's just one thing after another, and all the on-field, in franchise incidents that blew him up.
Him hiring people and refusing to pay them.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And so in the end, God bless him.
But, Coach Dungy said, and I think Coach Dungy and I, we finally agree on something. I love Coach Dungy. He's a great man.
So do I.
And he was saying, Skip, like, look, AB needs help. He says, but the NFL is not helping him by continuously giving him employment.
That is correct.
And they're not. Now, we're going to see. Because everybody, as long as AB could provide a service that could help you win, you cared about AB. Now I'm going to see how many people in the NFL cares about AB now that he can't score a touchdown, he can't catch a pass, he can't help your team win. We're going to find out just how many teams care about Antonio Brown.
I agree.
The person, not the player, because he can't help you right now.
Good point. Agreed.
No mercy.
Late game drama cost Dak Prescott and the Cowboys in their 25-22 loss to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Arizona's Chase Edmonds appeared to have fumbled late, but Dallas was out of timeouts as Arizona snuck away with the victory. Shannon, what's the biggest reason the Cowboys lost?
Dak and the offense was terrible yesterday, Skip. And heading into the fourth quarter, they've only scored 7 points. And this is the thing that I've been reiterating with you. Skip, if they don't create turnovers, get pick sixes, scooping scores, or set the offense up on a short field, the last half of the season, this offense has been very pedestrian. People get in awe. They scored 50 on a bad Washington football team. They scored 43 against a bad Atlanta Falcons football team. And everybody's like, oh, it's the beginning. But what happens when you can't create scooping scores? You don't get 4 turnovers. You don't get 5 turnovers. You don't get 5, 6 sacks. Then what happens? You see what happens when that offense has to go? The run game is just not existent now. So much for that, Zeke looked refreshed. Everybody says Zeke has made a resurgence, a renaissance. He's looking like the old bounce-back Zeke. Tony Pollard provides that splash that we need. Splash. Let me see how much splash they gave. Let me get my notes right here. This it? Oh, hey, notes said. Oh, there it is right here. My notes right here. Could I interest you in 17 carries for 45 yards?
Total. That's it for the whole day.
Hold on. Tony Pollard had 3 for 9. What happened to that burst?
Dak, what happened to the carries?
No, that's your guy. Hold on. You just said Dak was back. Dak said the word slump is what you guys use.
Yep.
I wasn't in no slump. So what's this?
A slump.
You go back and look with the exception, Skip, because remember, he didn't play the Minnesota game, but you go back and look at the last 6-7 games.
Yep.
With the exception of Atlanta and the exception of Washington, and you tell me Dak Prescott looked like he did the first 6-7 games.
Yep.
Not even close. Your defense. You told me the Marauders and Mike and the Marauders and Randy Gregory and D-Law. I say, Skip, and it's the sign of any great offense, defense, or special teams. Can you get done when you need to get it done? You guys pulled within 20, made it 22-25. It's 5 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock. All you got to do is get you a stop, get off the field, and get a ball to Dak Prescott back. What happened? You couldn't get off the field in 5 minutes and 12 seconds. With that defense, you remember now, you're 30% on third down. Nobody can get a third down on y'all. And Kyler Murray just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. The game started out. Now, I told you, if I'm playing Trayvon Diggs, I'm double moving him. Because he takes too many risks. He's unsound.
Well, he's given up the most passing yards in the whole league.
Yes.
By far.
My thing is, Skip, and that's why I'm going to take, that's why he has 11 interceptions, because people aren't afraid of him. Darrelle Revis might have had 5 or high. Time, every once in a while, I think Time maybe had like 8 one year, but most time he was around 3 or 4.
Yep.
Because they're just not going to throw it his way. The mere fact that you got this many interceptions and they're still challenging you, they're telling you something. We're not afraid of you. That was a touchdown. If Kyler doesn't throw AJ Green that first one, Skip, you know that's a walk-in touchdown. You got issues. Your offense doesn't even look the same unless they're playing a bad team. And your defense can put them on short field, get them at the 30, get a scoop and score, get a pick 6, or get a pick that runs it back down to the 10. If your team has to drive the length of the field on their own, it's not looking well. I wonder what Jerry think about Mike McCarthy yesterday. He burned one of his timeouts and he didn't have it in his back pocket, so he could have used that challenge. But okay, but he's doing what? He's to be commended. I think Jerry said he's to be commended, right, Skip? They didn't say that last week? He should be applauded. He's doing a great job.
Everybody's remiss. He deserves his recognition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder how Jerry feeling this morning. Go ahead, you.
My turn. Okay. The biggest reason my Cowboys lost yesterday was Kyler Murray. He was masterful from start to finish. He controlled this football game at all, whatever he is, 5 feet, 11 inches tall. He controlled it from start to finish. He is now 9-0 in that building. 9-0 at Jerry World, counting all of his high school championships.
Yeah.
I have never seen him play better. And we went back and forth about Matt Stafford or Kyler on the Pro Bowl team, and obviously those votes were in a long time ago. Yeah. But if you'd seen this game yesterday and then Matt Stafford's game at Baltimore, you'd say, yeah, Kyler's the Pro Bowl quarterback, because that was a Pro Bowl performance with his arm and his legs. I thought he was deadly accurate. The only throw that he slightly missed was the one to A.J. Green. It could have been a little farther, and maybe A.J. would have scored.
Oh, yes, yeah, scored.
But other than that, he was deadly accurate the whole game. He created lanes to throw. He just didn't miss a trick all day long, which brings me back to my quarterback. He was off from the start. The roller coaster rolls for me, and yet he was so bad for 3 quarters and pretty great in the 4th quarter that it became reminiscent of all those Blue Mondays past when Dak fell woefully behind. At least they didn't fall, just hopeless. It wasn't hopeless yesterday.
15. There was 2 scores.
It was 22-7 after 3 quarters. And here came the Warrior again. Too little, too late. And obviously, he started to use his legs more, and then he had a crucial fumble. If we could see the two plays where he finally just said, okay, I'm going to put my head down and go, this shows you when you're not throwing it very well. This was 3rd and 13 from the 22. This is late in the third quarter, if we could see this. Dak just says, okay, I don't trust that. I'm going to run. And that, for him, coming off career-threatening ankle surgery, was a pretty good run of 12 yards. And then they run the zone read on the next play, and he just kept it for the first time in a long time and got the first down and then wound up hitting Cedric Wilson for the 2-yard touchdown. Okay.
Right.
So that cuts it to 22-14, and it got them going. But then he comes right back in the next offensive series, and it's with 10:42 left in the fourth quarter. If we could see the fumble, he just tries to do too much. And this was really the end of the game right here. This is the turning point, is that right there when he got stripped from behind, and they get the ball on a short field and cash in a field goal. So now it's 25-14. Dallas roars back thanks to a trick play. So the best offensive play they had the whole day was Cedric Wilson, a college quarterback at Boise State, or actually he didn't play quarterback. He was high school. He was at Memphis White Station High School. But he went to Boise State, and here's the backward pass, and he's done this several times this year. Third time he's 3 for 3 on completions to my man Tony Pollard, and that set up the big touchdown that brought it to 25-22. And now let's get to the guts of this, because let's get to the controversial play in question, because we got a toss play. If we could see this to Edmonds, it's a option play. Tyler pitches to Chase Edmonds, and okay, this is very close to not being a fumble. It got called a fumble. I mean, it got called down on the field.
Right.
But I'm not sure if his elbow went down.
Yeah.
It looked like it was very close to elbow down on this. By the way, D. Law came in and stripped. But his knees, you want to talk about a dangerous takedown? His knees are bent underneath him. It's like...
Well, what happened was, I think it was Gregory had him by the back of his helmet.
But his knees completely flexed where something could have popped.
Right.
And he managed to keep both knees up, but then did his elbow go down?
It was...
Okay, it was very close, and I'm not dead sure they would have overturned it.
Right.
I'm just not sure.
Right.
Okay, but we didn't find out because Mike McCarthy had to burn a timeout. If we could go back to that play in question, it's the field goal play, and they got tricked. And I don't know what to do about it, but Kyler ran onto the field with Prater, the kicker, right? And so for a second, Dallas got caught where, wait a second, are they actually going to try to go for this?
Right.
It was a 4th and 5 play, right? Okay, so are they going to try to go for this? And McCarthy had to burn a timeout just to stop what might or might not have happened. Okay, I can't completely condemn him for that. I tip my cap to Kingsbury because he actually tricked him into...
made him burn a timeout.
Okay, so is it McCarthy's fault on that one? What else do you do in that case? You got caught, man. Right. You don't know what's happening. You don't want them to score a touchdown on you. You don't want to look foolish because you got your field goal block team out there.
Right.
Well, can they cover if Kyler takes a snap?
And then you got guys running on and off the field. Do I have 12 guys on the field, Skip? Do I have 10 guys on the field?
Okay, well, you know what I think about drop the Mike McCarthy, like drop him, get him out of my sight. Well, for once, it's not a clock management issue. Yeah, you burned a timeout, and then you had to use your 2nd and 3rd to stop Kyler because he just kept converting first downs.
And I think he was arguing, Skip, is that they made a change, but I don't think Arizona made a change. See, if you make a change as an offense, you got to allow the defense to make a change. But I don't think, was Prater on the field?
Yep, he was on the field.
Well, the Cowboys should have been allowed to make a change because anytime you bring somebody in.
I think he was. I'm not sure about the sequence of this, but it looked like Kyler trotted on later.
Right. Because any substitution, you have to allow the defense an opportunity to sub also.
Okay. Well, maybe the referees got caught flat-footed also.
That might have happened, Skip.
So I don't know. So the Cowboys, after the game, they were all belly aching about the officials because they got 10 penalties called for 88 yards. Well, I couldn't. There's not one call where I say that cost you the game, right?
Yes.
Where I say that was glaring, but Jerry said, well, we knew this crew was going to call a bunch of, he started to say ticky-tack. He did say ticky-tack. And then he said,
referee Benovich?
No, it was that other crew. I can't think of the guy's name. But the point is that they were the second highest penalty callers in the league. So they said, we knew they're going to call a bunch of stuff. Well, okay. So I'm not sure I wanted to hear all the Cowboys after the game. Van Der Esch, D-Law, just about all of them blamed the referees.
Right. I mean, it's not like the Cardinals had one penalty. They had 7 also. You had 10, they had 7. They had 7.
Okay.
But Skip, you lost this game. You said they were 30% on third down. They gave up 7 of 16 and 2 of 2 on fourth down.
2 of 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's half your third and fourth downs that they converted, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then could we go to the last series of the Arizona Cardinals that you just referred to?
Yes.
Because Kyler was just masterful in this last series. This is, okay, that's too good. That's a scramble.
That was a great.
It's a killer.
That was a great call, Skip.
It's a killer.
Everybody, I mean, that's a design run because you see the guard. Yeah, that was a design. That was a design scramble.
Okay, this one's the design right here, and this is the clock killer. That's game over right there.
Did Randy Gregory not realize who he was playing against? That you can't get trapped down inside. You got contained. Gregory, you got contained. So whatever you do, if he runs up the middle and gets 25 yards, you're like, he ain't getting around the edge. You got contained.
Okay. So they had one shot at one interception the whole day.
Yeah.
And it came to play before they had to burn the timeout on the field goal with Prater. And is cursed in the end zone. If we could see this throw. And I just tweeted that Micah should be rushing the passer. And guess who caused that errant throw? Yeah, Micah. Mm-hmm. That was the only pressure he got the whole game. Micah came off the end and got pressure. And Kyler just had to throw it up for grabs, and Curse could not hang on. Well, to your point, in all the previous games, at least the previous 5, they make that catch.
They came down with
right?
it. Yep.
And if you make that catch, you at least save 3 points, and guess what the final score was?
Now Kyler's going to need that drive to get in the field goal range in order to get a field goal to beat you.
And my kicker is hit and miss. And late in the first quarter,
Skip.
He is not automatic. He had a 43-yarder, did Greg the Leg Zuerlein, a 43-yarder, and he just missed it. And it was a 3-point game. Well, if Prater's going to make all of his and your guy's going to miss that one, you're going to lose. Right. So in the end, the most horrifying stats are the ones that you threw back or spat back at me about running the football. They just couldn't run it.
That was awful yesterday.
Couldn't run it. Now, I'm sorry. Zeke just looked like he was running in Cabo sand once again.
Well,
he just looked.
You just said Zeke looked fresh last week against Washington.
9 carries for 16 yards. Are you kidding me? 9 for 16? You can say the holes weren't there, but he hits the holes in slow motion to me. I don't know. He looked so fresh against Washington, and he looked so old yesterday. So old.
Damn.
He just looked old.
He got old over.
I don't know what happened. They said he's getting used to his brace. Well, is he really? He looked like he was wearing 2 braces yesterday.
Y'all didn't have y'all barely had 300 yards. Skip,
our leading rusher wound up being, I showed you those plays, it was Dak. 5 times for 20 yards. That's your leading rusher.
You told me, we're number 1 in points scored. We're number 1 in yards.
They still are.
What they got to do with it, Skip? You got 22 points and 300 yards.
Okay.
What good is averaging 30 and averaging 422 if you only can do that?
So it's happened 3 times at home, not on the road, all at home. Denver happened at home. The Las Vegas Raiders happened on Thanksgiving at home. Mm-hmm. And then Kyler happened at home. Yeah. And at least in the Kyler game, at least you were sort of hanging in there. It wasn't quite so bad. Well, the Raiders did go overtime, but it felt wrong to me. Denver just felt wrong. Dak became warrior in the fourth quarter, and he got back on that horse and rode it. Right. And they got it back to 30-16, but they're down 30-0 early in the fourth quarter. Really? Okay. So in the Raiders, they're just better than the Raiders. And I thought they were better than the Cardinals. You thought they were better than the Cardinals.
Yes.
Okay.
Considering how the Cardinals have played the last 2 months, yeah.
And by the way, the Cardinals were down both their starting corners yesterday. Yeah, both corners are out. Huh? And this is all you got?
Yeah, and James Conner didn't play.
Yeah.
But Skip, this is the 4th time in which your defense didn't get a takeaway. You're 1-3 in those games.
Okay.
The only game that you won was the Minnesota game. Okay,
and that was a Cooper Rush game. And by the way, speaking of that stat, the companion stat to that is Dak Prescott this year is now 0-5 when they don't rush for 100 yards. They actually won the game at Minnesota without rushing for 100, but that was not a Dak Prescott game.
Right.
So if you don't give him 100 yards of rushing, he fails. And he failed yesterday. Barely, but he failed. And he fought back like a warrior in the fourth quarter, and it was, as usual, too little, too late.
Skip, you pay these quarterbacks the big money because if they don't have a running game, you got to be able to deliver. You see, Joe Burrow, they didn't have a running game. Joe Burrow had to take it upon himself.
They had no running game. Yep.
And he had to take it upon himself.
And he threw for whatever it was.
446.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to have. Skip, that's what Dak's going to have to do. Because, and I said this at the beginning, I say, Skip, Zeke is never going to be the same. I've never seen a guy, Skip, have a dip like he had and then spring back up. I said, he's not going to be that guy.
Yep.
I say, now, in order for you guys to win, Dak's going to have to throw you. You can get some running game. But if you think Zeke is going to go out there and get you 128 on 17, 20 carries, that's not what he is anymore. He can get you a 3rd and 1, he get you 4th and 1, but he's not that anymore, Skip. And Dak's going to have to throw. If you want to go far in the playoffs, Skip, it's going to be on Ford's shoulder.
Okay.
You know that. You know that.
And now let's show the one really good throw I thought Dak made. Happened to be to Michael Gallup, and it became the last ball he will catch this year. If we could please see, so do I. At first, it didn't look that bad to me.
I didn't know what happened. I just saw him grab it, Skip. But once if you see the replay, Skip, you see it buckled on the way up.
It looked like it buckled as he spun. Yeah, I agree.
And I was like, Skip, it was great concentration. Because Skip, you know it immediately. With something like that, you know it immediately. But for him to have the wherewithal to say, I still got to make this catch. We still need this. And I just feel so bad, Skip. He's in a contract year. You know, he played the first game. He had the calf. He missed like 8 weeks with the calf. He came back. He was playing really well. And then, boom.
Felt like the whole year was doomed for him. And yet, the only silver lining, as devastating a loss as that is, because he's their best deep threat.
Yes.
He's a better deep threat than CD or Amari.
What happened to CD yesterday, Skip? You keep telling me that guy.
No wavelength with Dak. I don't know what happened. He caught a couple of nice balls, but not enough. And the point is, what happened in all those games that Michael Gallup missed? Cedric Wilson was pretty good.
Yes,
and they had to change the flow of it because they had to put Cedric in the slot.
He's more of a slot guy.
Yeah, okay. So will they be okay without Michael? Sure, they'll be okay. Well, right. They won't be quite as good. They won't be as explosive.
Well, to put him in the slot, that means you take Amari or you take CD out of the slot.
You have to take CD out of the slot where he was thriving,
and that's where he's most effective.
That is correct. So in the end, I'm not giving up on this team. As weirdly as they lose, they weirdly win when you least expect it. I almost wish that the first game in the playoffs wasn't booked for Jerry World. I wish it. I wish they could trade places with Philadelphia because Philadelphia's going to be a road team, it appears, and they have to be a road team because they're the wild card. Mm-hmm. But the point is, I like my team better on the road. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Kyler's team on the road is sensational.
They're 7-1.
Huh? No, didn't they win 8? I think they won 8.
But they might be 8-1.
Yeah, I think they're 8-1, right?
Yeah, because I think Skip, I think they get the odd game. They have the home games.
8 road wins.
I think it might be.
Okay, but whatever. They're lights out on the road.
Because I know they lost one game. They lost to Detroit. I know Detroit beat them on the road.
Yep. So I'm a little concerned about having to play a game at Jerry World, which I never thought I would say, but I'm a little worried about a home game.
Ola, you've been talking about all year. You want to win the division, so that way it assures you of having a home game. That's what you said.
I only wanted to win the division so I could win 10 cases from you, and I did. Game over. So,
but guess what?
You in the bank.
But guess what that happens? That means you get a home game.
Yep.
And guess what? The Cowboys play their worst football at home.
I have seen them win home games before in the not so distant memory. Dak beat Russell Wilson.
Oh my God.
And Romo beat Matt Stafford.
Oh really?
Okay. Yeah. How about that?
But you said it was a blown call.
It was.
The Romo game.
Okay, but we won.
Okay.
Scoreboard said we won.
Okay. So I don't want to hear anything else about the catch.
Yeah.
The catch that didn't happen in
the next game.
No, but it didn't happen. It wasn't a catch.
Oh, it was a catch.
No.
That would have been a Super Bowl.
What did the scoreboard say?
Well, whatever. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, man, was he great last night or what?
We'll get back to your Cowboys in just a bit, but let's head to Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers threw for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Packers' 37-10 win over the Kirk Cousins-less Vikings. Now, with the win, Green Bay locked up the number 1 seed in the NFC, meaning that the road to Super Bowl 56 will go through Lambeau Field. Rodgers will now have some time to rest his fractured pinky toe, which he said afterwards didn't hurt him at all in the game. And now Fox Bet Sportsbook has him as a big favorite to win his 4th MVP award. So, Shannon, do you think Rodgers wrapped up the MVP last night?
He wrapped it up 3 weeks ago when Tom Brady had that fiasco game on Sunday night, Skip, and Aaron Rodgers played the way he played. I think it might have been the next night, or he played that same day. I said it was over. I thought it was nip and tuck right down the stretch, and I told you in week 4, week 5, I said don't count Rodgers out because he's a guy, and that was an aberration the first game, Skip, playing in Jacksonville, playing the Saints, and him turning the ball over twice. I said, but that's his MO, isn't that he doesn't turn the ball over. Skip, this is 4 years. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 136 touchdowns with 15 interceptions. That's what he's done in a 4-year span. He's very, very cautious with the football while taking a lot of risk by throwing the ball down the field. But for me, Skip, you're not going to be able to argue 35 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. The number 1 seed, his completion percentage is better than Tom Brady. His yards per attempt is better than Tom Brady. He has 4 turnovers. Tom Brady has 14, and he's the number 1 seed. Yes, Tom has the numbers. Tom is thrown 169 more passes, but only has 4 more touchdowns. He's 40-12. Rodgers is 35-4. Now, I believe, Skip, they're going to try to give Brady an opportunity to break Peyton's record. He needs 488 passing yards. I think they're going to try to get him. I think he's going to break Matthew Stafford, most pass attempts in the season. I think he's at 686, 682, something like that. Yep. He needs like 46, 47 attempts to break that. He just had 50 yesterday. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Yep. But I think Aaron Rodgers, I know for a fact, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the MVP, and I believe Cooper Kupp will be Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. I hear everything you just said, and I believe that Aaron Rodgers will win the MVP. But I also believe that Tom Brady deserves the MVP. What he has accomplished, people are overlooking, because I'm going to remind everybody, he did not have Antonio Brown, his favorite target, for 9 games. He did not have his second favorite target, Gronkowski, for 5 games. Last year, one of his favorite targets, his most lethal secret weapon target, was little Scotty Miller. He's missed 8 games and fallen completely out of the rotation. So he's doing more with less than you think. And yet, look at what he has done. He still leads the league completions, yards passing per game at 312. Aaron is 9th in yards passing per game. So 1st to 9th in yards passing per game.
But you see the passes, Skip. I mean, what did Rodgers throw? Rodgers was 29 of 38. We saw the tight end drop a touchdown in the end zone. Even Devontae had they might consider that a drop. Skip, he's just so accurate. He's just so, the throws, Skip, you see the throws that he's making to Devontae, the throws that he's making to Lazard.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up, because Devontae obviously is graded by Pro Football Focus by far and away the number 1 receiver in pro football. So Aaron benefits, because you want to talk about wavelength. He can be triple covered. Aaron just says, nah, I'll just throw it anyway. Yeah. And this guy snatches it, and he runs with it. And by the way, in overall receiving core, Green Bay is ranked 5th in overall receiving core. Tampa Bay is 16th in receiver core. And Mike Evans is now the highest rated receiver in Pro Football Focus grading at 49th. So you got number 1 to number 49. That's what Brady's had to battle against. And then you look at running game. Man, those 2 running backs are now graded by Pro Football Focus 5th and 8th. 5th and 8th. That also adds up to the number 3 rushing attack in pro football. Number 3. Yeah. So you don't think
last night.
You don't think Aaron is benefiting from his 2 running backs and the best receiver and a really good core that's top 5?
Yes, but that's why his numbers. That's why he's 9th in passing. Because he can rely on a running game, and he doesn't throw the ball 45, 50 times a ball game like Tom Brady has done a lot of times this year. So his numbers are going to be down. But when you look at it, you look at his completion percentage, you look at his yards per attempt, look at his touchdown to interception ratio. It's hard to argue that. And he's the number 1 seed. Since the first game, Skip, he's gone 13-1, 35 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Okay.
Remember what he did that Thursday night?
Yep.
Without his top 3 receivers, without 2 top offensive linemen and top 3 defensive players, he won at Kyler. He did that.
But Kyler threw a ball that should have been caught by A.J. Green that would have won the game.
All we can do is go by the end result, Skip. That's what you said, the end result.
All right. So Pro Football Focus also in just overall grades. Right now, Brady is graded second to guess who? Joe Burrow. And we're going to talk about him a little later in the show. He outdueled Mahomes.
Yes.
So Burrow is ranked number 1, graded number 1. Brady's 2. Justin Herbert is 3. And Aaron Rodgers is way down at 4 because he's 3 full points behind Tom Brady.
But anybody that's watched the games, anybody that think, and I'm not saying, look, I think all these guys are having unbelievable seasons. Joe Burrow has an outside chance at 5,000 yards this year. There's a chance he might get it. He needs 389 yards. And considering he's almost thrown for 5,000 yards, his last 2 ball games, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow gets 5,000 this season. But to say somebody has played the quarterback position this season better than Aaron Rodgers has played it, I just don't believe it.
What's my favorite stat? It is QBR. And right now, Aaron is clinging to a very tiny lead in QBR over Tom Brady. Tiny.
Skip, we got to get rid of QBR. You know why we got to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Because yesterday they said Tom Brady's QBR was higher than Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow threw for more yards, more touchdowns.
Okay, of all the QBRs of the whole year, I will give you this because they said that Patrick Mahomes' QBR was significantly better than Joe Burrow. But Burrow threw 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. I'll tell you what docked him. He got sacked 4 times.
Yeah.
So they knocked off points, but not that. It shouldn't be
you
like
should
that.
start from 100. Knock off points from 100. Ain't no way somebody should have had a better. It's hard for me to see someone having a better QBR when he didn't turn the ball over and he has, 7 incompletions, 8 incompletions?
Yeah. But he and Mahomes had 9.
Yeah.
They both had 9. Okay.
With 446?
Okay. I don't get it. I'm with you. But back to this. If we look at QBR, Brady had a better one yesterday than Aaron did. So he crept up on him. It's very close, just percentage points behind him. And I don't doubt that after the Carolina game, I'm not sure Aaron's even going to play against Detroit. He said last night, I'd be happy to play. I doubt they'll play him, but I don't know that for a fact.
Well, if he don't play, I don't see how Brady overtakes him. I mean, he's going to have a 90-plus QBR to move up.
It's just percentage points. It's 67.7 to 66.9, so it's 8%.
Yeah,
8/10 of
but
a point.
Skip, that's
this
a lot.
Late,
this
17
late
games. He would have to have a 90-something.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, against Carolina, I think he's got a shot, especially if he's going for Peyton's record. Okay. What about the common game? They each had a common stinker against the same team, New Orleans. Aaron's was a long time ago, so out of sight, out of mind, you forget.
Yes.
But in Aaron's stinker against New Orleans in the opener, what happened? He threw 2 interceptions, had a QBR of 15. Brady threw 1 interception. It was a bad one, but he threw 1, and his QBR was 20. So he actually had a little better bad game or worst game than Aaron did.
Right.
So I would even give him a slight edge there.
What about win-loss record? Who gets the slight edge there?
Okay. Well, it's just a slight edge, right?
No, we're the number 1 there. The Packers are the number 1 team.
Okay, but Brady just keeps on keeping on, doesn't he?
And that's what Rodgers did. Keep on keeping on.
All right. But Rodgers has a lot more help than Brady does. You've told me all year that the Tampa defense it's been mediocre at best.
I mean, we saw Green Bay give up like 200-plus yards rushing to the Ravens. They gave up another. The Cleveland gave up 200-plus to the Browns.
Okay.
So, look, last night, I can't take anything. I think the Packers have an okay defense. I think their run defense is suspect. But of the teams in the NFC, Skip, who can run the ball?
Okay.
Well, when you look at the Rams might be the best running team with Sonny Michel.
Akers might come back.
Yeah, he might come back. I mean, if James Conner's come back from Arizona, can they run it? But I look at Dallas. I look at the other teams that Skip could possibly make the playoffs. Who can really run the football to really challenge Green Bay? I don't know if you can, throwing the football is the best way to beat them. I think running the football, controlling the clock, keep Aaron on the sideline.
Is Fournette going to be back? I don't know. Because they're trying everybody. They're trying Le'Veon Bell, which drives me crazy. It's come to this.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You're going to have to beat Rodgers. You're going to have to turn him over, and you're going to have to put pressure on him.
Okay.
Can you put pressure on him minus JPP, minus Shaq Barrett?
Okay. So, speaking of no Shaq Barrett, remember, the Bucs did not have Shaq. They didn't have JPP yesterday. They did not have Levante David. And there was a problem with the plane that was supposed to bring Murphy Bunting and Jamel Dean up because they just got off the COVID list. And the pilot got COVID, so they were late to the game. So they didn't even get into the game until the second quarter. So my point is, without that, with the AB meltdown, Brady came from 24 to 10 down.
The Jets, though.
Okay, but come on. 24 to 10
if he had done that against Buffalo,
and you go 93 yards with no timeouts left. That was sensational. Yeah. That was one of the greatest game-winning last-second drives that he's ever pulled off before. I would have
given him a B+ because to do what he did, 93 yards. But I mean, you expect that from Tom. I mean, Skip, there's certain guys that you just expect that from, and so you're not in awe. If Aaron Rodgers does that, if Patrick Mahomes does that, are we really in awe? Tom Brady's been doing this for 22 years, so I'm not surprised that he did it. But to everything that's going on around him, he knows what he might not have known that AB's not going to be a part of the team until after the game, but he know what was being said on the sideline.
That is correct.
I don't know if they were. Well, they couldn't have been on the field because Mike Evans was on the sideline with him.
Yeah.
So, but Tom saw it.
The defense was on.
Right.
Yeah,
Tom saw what was going on.
He knew what was going on.
The crowd is buzzing. I can assure you, Skip. Guess what? On the jumbotron, they got AB with no shirt on, throwing stuff to the ground in the stands and running out the field. So he saw that, and to calm his mind, no matter what's going on around me, it doesn't even matter. I'm here. Let's get the job done.
Okay, I just thought it was a very special end of the game. I don't care if it's the Jets or the Mets. I don't care who it is. He did that, throwing to Cyril Grayson.
I mean, back-to-back 40-touchdown season. Very few guys can say they've gone back-to-back 40. I mean, Peyton, and I think Aaron Rodgers, the only guy that's had multiple 40 pass touchdown season.
I would still give him the edge in MVP, but he will not win it.
I just don't see how, considering the season that Rodgers has strung together again.
Even though once upon a time Aaron Rodgers said, "I'm immunized."
Okay, Skip. Okay. He lied, but you can't take that away from the man what he done on the field.
Well, Brady lost it against New Orleans and ran over to Dennis Allen and said, "You know what?
Okay.
You
go F yourself."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was Joe. And he broke the tablet. Yeah. The NFL said, "You break another one of these tablets,
it was a bad look."
You got to pay for it. You got to pay for it.
That is correct.
You can't break up people. How you go to class and just break up the computer? You get mad. You throw a tantrum and break up the computer. But that's your guy.
That's why he's the GOAT.
No, that's your that's your
Tom
GOAT.
Brady
Baby GOAT.
The way he ended that game. No mercy. Despite turning 37 last week, LeBron has shown no signs of father time catching up to him. First on Friday, he dropped 43 in a runaway Lakers win over the Blazers. And then last night, he had a game-high 26 points as LA got the best of Minnesota and improved to 500 on the season. Shannon, how much better do you feel about the Lakers? A little or a lot?
A little. Skip us a positive. They winning games that they should win, beating bad teams. Portland has lost 14 of 17. Minnesota playing without Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Skip, they should win these games. I don't know what's going on in Portland, but they might need to look to start a rebuild. Go ahead and get some draft picks for Dame. Try to get some draft picks from CJ because it's just not working in that situation.
And remember, CJ and Nurkic and Anthony Simons didn't play on Friday night at whatever it's called, Crypto.
Crypto. Yeah, so Skip, look, LeBron has been sensational. I mean, what he did Friday night, 43-14 in 29 minutes, that's the first time.
It was. He was sensational.
He's ever gone 40 points in less than 30 minutes. He didn't have a turnover, took very good care of the basketball last night. He was 26, 7 and 5. Wasn't his normal efficient self. He was only 7 of 15. Had it going really early. And then, but Skip, I'm very encouraged by what I see by Malik Monk. Love Avery Bradley. He's going to fight you tooth and nail. He can make some big shots. Stanley Johnson comes in and tries to battle. But Skip, I mean, what am I going to do with Russ, Skip? I mean, if somebody has 7 turnovers in a ball game, you say they played bad. Russ had 7 in the first half.
He did.
He had 9 for the game.
He did.
And I don't care what anybody says. That's frustrating to his teammates. That's frustrating to the coaching staff because whatever we're trying to tell him is not getting through. They had 12 turnovers in the first half. Russ had 7 of them. You go back and look at the other night. I don't get it. I don't understand, Skip, and he just tries to go to the hole. He loses the ball out of hand, and he looks at his hand. Yeah, bruh, you had the ball. There's nothing wrong with your hands. So stop looking at your hands like, I don't know what happened. Skip, look, like I said, it's a little. I'm glad for the simple fact is that they're beating these teams that they should beat. They're not losing games to these bad teams that they should beat. They're winning them. I don't know how they won this game. You get out rebounded by 28. You turned the ball over like you did last night. I don't know how you beat that team.
56-28, you got out-rebounded.
They had all...
It's because you play small with LeBron at the 5.
Right.
And you suffer for it.
Right. Skip, how does the team have almost as many offensive rebounds as you have total rebounds, and you win the ball
That's
game?
just effort or lack thereof.
There you go.
Right.
So it is what it is. I mean, Russ has gone 0 for 8 over his last 3, from the 3 in his last 2 games. He's shooting 30% from the season.
Okay.
And as you said, he's the Usain Bolt of turnovers. He's running away with it. It's not even close.
Not even close. So, I look up last night. I'm worn out from a long day of NFL. My Cowboys had lost. I was distraught. And I'm watching your Lakers, and I'm watching, and it's getting later and later. And I look up, and there's 3.5 minutes left in the game, and you're up 1 point.
Yeah.
And I said, there's only one reason this is happening without Kat and obviously D'Angelo Russell.
You know,
which brings us once again. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our almost daily Russell Westbrook turnover blooper reel, the TBR. Once again, can we see it? This is 9 turnover. Russ, think about it. Now, come on, Russ, have a plan.
Got up in the air.
Yeah, got to have a plan.
Watch this one.
Wait, Russ.
Oh, this one. Check this one out right here, Skip.
Russ. Oops.
Skip, I mean, this
Russ,
is Keystone Cop.
Think about
it. Skip.
God. Oh, if you're playing high school basketball, you are benched. You're benched. Russ, you just got to hang on to the basketball. Got to protect. Charge. Obvious. He looks like, what? Me?
Watch this one, Skip. Watch this one.
Russ. What are you doing? Russ, just have a thought. A little thought. Whoops.
They call that
double
a
dribble. No, they called double dribble on him. What was that? There are 5 guys between you and your target. Come on, Russ.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing.
Russ,
What 9? You do it.
I've now concluded. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. This is not tongue-in-cheek. Russell Westbrook has the worst hands of any point guard I have ever closely watched. Ever. He has hands of stone. It's the worst handle. He just can't hang on to the basketball.
He has to have for his size, he has to have below average hand size. Because, Skip, I mean, you can't lose the ball. The ball just flies out his hands like he's just throwing it up in the air. But he's not.
I don't know. We're talking about a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer. That keeps happening. This is not unusual. This is a fairly nightly occurrence, right?
Skip, I look at the point guard and turning the ball over like I look at the quarterback and turning the ball over. No matter how great you are around it, you can't overcome it.
No, you can't. And it's so demoralizing.
And people say, well,
everybody.
Look what the Rams did against the Ravens. Look at the Matthew Stafford. I said, now you get in the playoffs. You give up a pick 6. You turn the ball over like he did.
You're going to lose.
They're going home.
They're going home. Agreed. So it all keeps falling back on LeBron's shoulders to carry them home.
He got to play 39 minutes last night.
He's approaching. It was 39-13 he played. Boy, that's a lot of minutes for a guy who just turned 37.
But Skip,
it's a lot.
He has to.
19 years.
He has to play that because if you leave Russ on the floor for that length of time, Russ had 9 turnovers and Russ played 33 minutes. So if you give him LeBron minutes, how many turnovers do you think he's going to have? 11, 12, maybe 13?
Okay, so what predictably happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron starts to run out of gas because he's in year 19.
Yes.
So when you need him to drive it home, he starts to fail a little bit because his legs go out.
Right.
So he was 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter, 0 of 2 from 3, and he didn't score after the 11:38 mark.
Yeah, I think he got a layup.
Yeah, he got a layup early, and then that was the end of him. He did make two free throws, and he missed 2 free throws. But whatever, he became no factor. And Carmelo made a huge 4-point, 3-point shot that turned the tide. That one that he made, it was he got fouled on a 3-point shot, and that put you over the top.
Yep.
And Carmelo was sensational, but he shoots it sensationally at home, not so much on the road. Right.
And the thing is, Skip, like I said, Malik Monk has been a godsend.
He's been a godsend.
Skip, the clock was, remember the shot clock was winding down, and Avery Bradley hit a 2-pointer.
Yeah. And Russ actually lucked in a jump shot with 4.5 minutes left because he got fouled and it got knocked online and it went in. And then he's get an and one, and he missed the and one. It's hard to overcome him, man.
You get a skip. You get a lead. You up 10. And then Russ comes down in 3 straight possessions and turns it over. And now what was a 10-point lead, all of a sudden they make 2 threes on the 2, and now it's down to 2. Or you make 3 buckets and it's down to 4.
Yep.
It's just hard for you to overcome his kind of play because it's so demoralizing. Skip, we got a 2-on-1. I've never seen a guy blow more 2-on-1s with LeBron, who you can make a case as one of the all-time great finishers. And Russ blowing more 2-on-1s, more 3-on-1s with LeBron somehow in the mix than anybody.
LeBron's one of the greatest break finishers.
Yes!
He's 6'9", 260.
Yes!
And he can fly.
And he throw the ball, he like LeBron got, like you stretch Armstrong, he throws it like 20 feet high, or he throws it behind him when LeBron coming with a head of steam, or he just, it is what it is. I mean,
the weirdest moment of the night for me, and I still have no idea what really happened, but as LeBron was leaving the floor at halftime, he and Phil Handy, the assistant, got into it, and that's his guy.
Yes.
That's his, personal coach.
I think Phil would say, bro, you got to get on the boards.
Yep.
I mean, you stand right there. I mean, he's like, bro, hey, just let it go. And Phil's like, hey, bro, just let it go. We'll talk about it once we get inside.
Yep.
But
Phil got steamed.
Right.
Like he got over-emotional, man. Like, calm down a little bit.
Right.
What did LeBron have? 7 rebounds.
Right.
Okay. But he's playing the 5,
right.
So they need him to bang.
And that's what the thing. I'm just like, in a situation, Skip, LeBron can't, Skip, you can't ask that man to go give us 30 a night and set everybody up. I mean, Skip, you remember last night, a lot of time, Malik Monk was bringing the ball up. LeBron's like, I can't do the responsibility that you're asking me to do in your 19.
Nope.
But Skip, they got to take they put in Russ more and more off the ball. But somehow he always ends up with the ball on the outlet. Skip, the fast break, Russ got the ball. I already know when he gets the ball. I already know. I was like, man, let's get back on defense because they about to be coming back this way with the ball.
Yep. Obviously, your team is missing Anthony Davis. You're not a big fan of how he's played so far this year, but he's got to make them a little bit better because he can move back, I think, to the 5 and LeBron to the 4.
He don't want to play the 5.
I know, but he has to.
But he don't want to Skip. He don't want that banging.
Okay, all right. But, hey, do you want to make the playoffs? Because you were in...
That's still 50-50.
Yeah, I know, because they just moved up to 19-19.
Yeah.
They rose all the way up with 2 big home wins over bad teams without their stars.
Skip, AD was there for like 12, 13 games without LeBron.
Yeah.
That was your opportunity to rise and shine because you're supposed to take... This was supposed to be AD's year. He's supposed to have to transitioning. From year 1 he got there, okay, he scored the most. Okay, he got Nick last year, but he's supposed to be transitioning. LeBron's supposed to be 2. LeBron should not be this much of the best player on the team in year 19 when you got Anthony Davis on the team, Skip.
I do agree. There's no way they win that game if Karl Anthony Towns plays last night. He's been playing at a high level.
Well, first of all, you can't play small. You can't play. You have to play Dwight Howard. Yes,
you would have to. But D'Angelo Russell, I know he's come and goes. But
can we trade him? Can we trade him for Russ?
Yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely, I would do that. And I throw in a couple of parting gifts.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. Well, congratulations, Shannon. You now have a 500 team.
Hey, you don't want to talk about my guy being the second in scoring in the NBA?
Huh? And it got you what? 500.
I know a guy that's the best player lost a 10-point lead.
Really?
He lost a 10-point lead to a team without Paul George and Kawhi. I ain't saying no names. But we know who lost that lead.
But he's about to get Kyrie Irving back, and then we'll see what
you needed Kyrie to beat the Clippers?
Well,
minus Paul George?
LeBron needed Kyrie to beat the Golden State Warriors in Game 7.
Oh, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Because you saw what happened. A triple-dub happened. Remember when they went on that lead and LeBron scored the 7 points and got tied it back up all by himself?
Nobody could score, and finally Kyrie said, I got it.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question. Before no one could score, why couldn't nobody score? Can you tell the people what happened? The greatest block in NBA history.
Really, the bicycle built for 2 by J.R. Smith. Congratulations, J.R. Way to go.
And then who hit the free throw to ice it, to seal it?
Well, it was game on.
No, it wasn't no game. What was Skip?
No mercy. Brady and the Bucs survived 28-24 versus the Jets, but the story of the game was Antonio Brown. AB took his helmet and shoulder pads off in the third quarter and stormed off the field, waving to fans as he left. Now, after the game, Bruce Arians told our own Jay Glazer that he tried to get AB to go back into the game twice, but for the second half, but the receiver refused. And then the coach went on to tell the media that Brown is, quote, no longer a Buck. Shannon, is his career over, or will he get another chance?
No, I believe he'll get another chance. Time will pass and someone will convince themselves that AB has changed and he'll get another shot. Tom Brady brought Antonio Brown into his home because Tom Brady, the most important thing to Tom Brady is winning football games. And that's what's important. I will say 85% of the football teams is to win ball games. AB is still productive. AB still can play at a very high level. AB can be a number one receiver on a lot of ball clubs. Skip, this wasn't Antonio Brown's worst transgression. It was his latest. We got an opportunity to see.
It was the ugliest public transgression.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
And guess what? What you and I know, people in NFL circles know even more. And they still signed him. Oakland knew everything that man had done in Pittsburgh. New England knew everything that man had done in Oakland and Pittsburgh. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers knew everything that man had done in New England, Oakland, and Pittsburgh, and what he had going on off the field. He got a fake vaccine card even after Bruce Arians said it was a zero tolerance policy.
Yep.
And he kept it. Because he could play. That's how it works. Not just in pro sports, Skip. It's like that in normal society. If somebody can do a job at a high level and it can make a company money, that person, he or she, is going to get more opportunities. That's just the way it is. Somebody's going to convince themselves AB has changed. Probably take a year. He probably may have to sit out the rest of this year, maybe half of next year. Somebody going to give him a shot. Because they'll say, man, AB, he done changed. He changed. And the people is going to make some more excuses for him. But I just want to know, man, Twitter, y'all quiet today. Y'all ain't making no excuses for him today. After what Skip said, a source that spoke to him said that he told Tom Brady, oh, you going to your boy. Now y'all was talking about the man said his foot was hurting. Then you said it was about the incentives. So y'all get together and come out with the story that y'all want to put out to condone his behavior so you can keep it going instead of putting it on who the responsibility belongs on. Yes, Skip, there have been people that have enabled, that has been complicit.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, fault lies in the individual.
Yep.
Antonio Brown is solely responsible for his behavior. And far too many times, people have looked the other way because he can go get you 1,800 yards. He can get you 130 catches. He can get you 15 touchdowns. This is who he is. Y'all didn't want to believe it.
You well might be right about everything you just said. History would scream at you, somebody will give him another shot.
Yeah.
Although my friend Chad Ochocinco at that point, they finally just said, okay, that's enough. You got to go home and you're going to have to stay home because nobody's going to take another shot.
Right.
Was he as productive as AB has been with Tom? No, he was not. In his year at New England, he's kind of an afterthought.
Right.
Tom threw him one ball in the Super Bowl just so he could catch a ball in the Super Bowl. And that was the end of Chad. I'm going to lean this morning toward our man Jarrett Bell. He's covered pro football almost as long as I have for USA Today.
I know Jared.
Jared concluded, we've had him on the show a number of times, but he concluded this morning in the piece that he wrote, that's it, game over. I'm going to lean that way. Again, you might be right because history is on your side, but AB is going to play next year at 34 years of age, so there's some diminishing returns going on here, and he's had this ankle issue that has plagued him all year. And even though Bruce Arians, BA, tried to sell in the preseason he's fresher and quicker, because remember he got his knee scoped in the offseason. I didn't see Pittsburgh lightning from him this year. I saw pretty good.
Yeah.
I saw the ability to catch 10 balls on 15 targets 2 weeks ago against Carolina.
He's still a guy that, if in a right system, could probably catch somewhere between 75 and 100 balls.
Okay,
he still could. Now, he's not going to give you 1,500 yards anymore. He can't give you that. But he can give you, 100 catches,
Okay.
10 yards a catch.
Now let's look at transgressions that GMs will have to consider and owners' wives will have to consider. What happened at Pittsburgh? This is a bedrock, cornerstone foundation of the league.
Coach,
the Rooneys and Mike Tomlin, I keep telling you, he's my favorite guy. I know they've struggled.
He bears some responsibility.
He does, but again.
But look at Skip, look how the receivers behave since AB left. Look at Juju. Look at Claypool.
I got it.
Look at those guys, McLeod.
So did Mike let AB kind of run all over him at the end?
Yes, he did.
He did. But they fell completely apart. And remember, Mike Tomlin finally sent him home. Remember, he came to play and showed up to get dressed for a game, and Mike said, no, go home.
After he had to send him home early in the week. For why? Because he threw a football at Ben Roethlisberger.
He did.
That's when Mike Tomlin drew not coming to practice, showing up late for meeting, giving him your butt to kiss. It was when he threw the football at Big Ben that Mike Tomlin said, I had enough.
Correct. We had our man James Harrison sit right here that next week. And what did James say? He had AB over at his house. They'd gone back and forth, and AB was acting wild. And even James said he needs some help, right?
Right.
That was the first public pronouncement from somebody very close to him saying he just needs some help. Did he ever really get any help? I don't think so. No. I might not know, but I don't think he ever did.
Didn't he say, I think he said he talked to somebody one off season, I think, before he went to Tampa. I think he said he had.
Well, next came New England. And what happened?
No, went to Oakland, Skip.
I mean, I'm sorry, Oakland first. I left out Oakland. How dare I leave out Oakland? So they signed him, and John Gruden said, you're our guy. And we gave him a lot of money.
Gave $30 million.
Yep. And Mike Mayock's all in. And then all of a sudden, it blows up during Hard Knocks, during camp.
Right.
It just blows all to hell.
Didn't he come in a hot air balloon or something?
Yes, he did. Out in Napa. Yeah. Okay. And what happens? It degenerates into he has a shouting match with poor Mike Mayock and calls him a cracker. Insulted him, fine. Okay. But it just blew up. And that's the end of that. There are about 15 incidents inside that blow-up, right? Okay. Then Tom says, well, I love him. I bring him up here. Right. Let's try it. He comes up for a game against Miami, the team where he grew up, obviously, and has a big opening game against Miami. And right away, he goes after one of his accusers in a text, and she goes to Sports Illustrated with it, and it becomes public. Right. And Robert Kraft is horrified, and AB winds up taking a public Twitter shot at Robert Kraft, a personal shot. Remember this?
Yes, I do.
And that's the end of that deal. Yep. That lasted about 15 minutes, right? And then finally, Tom says, I love him. I got to have him in Tampa. And he goes to Tampa. And by all accounts, he was on his best behavior for that. It was 8 games, the back 8, right?
Yes.
Because he had to serve an 8-game suspension. And it worked. A lot because of Brady, and I think AB really committed because he didn't have a ring and he got a ring. And then you know and I know what happened here. Fake vax card, 0 tolerance, nope. Tom Brady said, AB, I got to have him. I'm sorry, I overrule you. And you recreated, as you said earlier, the monster. And Brady enabled AB. He empowered AB. He basically handed him the keys to the kingdom and said, you are our savior. We need you. We don't have Chris Godwin. You got to be that guy. And then that happened yesterday. So if you're a GM or an owner or an owner's wife, and you look at this with these sexual assault allegations, sexual misconduct allegations are numerous, and you say, really? Do you want to really try it? Because it's almost inevitable what will happen unless he could show you or convince you he did get counseling, right?
Skip, it doesn't matter. They want to win. Skip, the Cowboys' son, Jerry Jones, even after the daughter, even after everybody said, don't do it, Jerry, what did he do? Because that man had 16 sacks the year before. He was first team All-Pro, and he was 26 years of age. If you can help a team win, they're going to look past that. They're going to look past what their daughters say, what their wife's going to say. Now, there's only one situation I can recall. The Patriots draft a guy. And Myra Kraft, rest her soul, Mr. Kraft's wife said, honey, you got to do away with him. And they cut him. They did that. That's the only time that off the top of my head. Now, if there's other instances out there, Skip, I don't know about. But I know that happened. But at the end of the Skip, all these other transgressions was there. Tampa knew about these transgressions off the field. New England knew about these transgressions off the field.
Yep.
And they signed him anyway. Why? Because he could play.
What do you always say? Production
and tolerance.
Yep.
As long as production is up here, tolerance will also be up here. But tolerance will never be above production. I guarantee you, if AB had done that and he had Devontae Adams or Cooper Kupp number, they'd like, okay, we're going to suspend him for a game, but we're going to be right for the playoffs.
Well, I thought that was going to happen yesterday.
That's how it works.
Yep.
AB was giving you Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson numbers.
Yep.
We're going to suspend him for a game. But he'd be right back for the playoffs.
Suspend him for Carolina, back for the first.
Remember what Mike Tomlin said when he did Facebook Live? Mm-hmm. Mike Tomlin said, we're not going to punish ourselves. AB said, hold on. Okay. I kind of got a little power here. I can act a fool and you not going to do anything because y'all need AB.
That is true.
So let me just keep it going. Guess what? I ain't going to come to meetings either. As a matter of fact,
by the way, not only they keep it going, they gave him his money.
Yes!
We had him on the show.
Which I said was a mistake.
You said it was a mistake.
I said,
and you told him that to his face.
Skip, if a man's, let me ask you a question, Skip. If a man's making $3 million and he's acting a fool, give him double that. What you think he gonna be? He gonna become a bigger fool. Skip, if you a clown and you give a clown money, he buy more makeup. He want to become a bigger clown.
That is correct, and he did.
Yes. That's who, Skip, this is who he is. He's been this way for a decade. And everybody's like, nah, that ain't him. That ain't him, Shannon, you hating. Shannon, you just, I don't know why you bringing the black man down. If every Shannon, oh, why you killing the messenger? Y'all ain't gonna say nothing about AB's behavior? Just me and the other guys that's talking about it? So we the problem. Not him, us. We talk about it. We the problem, the media. Interesting.
I'm sorry, I have finally concluded more trouble than worth. That's what I think.
When did you get to that point? So it took him taking his shirt off and throwing his pants for you to say that's enough.
Who picked the Buccaneers to win it all back-to-back?
You did.
I did. So I'm right in Brady's camp here. I'm like, you got to try. You got to give me a little more rope, a little more rope. Got to try.
But Skip, you know how hard it is.
No.
So you pinned your hope on AB being on his best behavior for not 1 year, but for 2 years.
And right away, I hear about a fake backs guard. It's a felony offense. If that's not shattering zero tolerance, I don't know what could.
But he said, hey, Bree Hayes said, I don't care what y'all think. I'm doing what's in the best interest of the team. AB can help my team win. I'm trying to win games. Okay, I'll let y'all worry about that. I'll let the CDC, I'll let Health and Human Services or whomever else. We're not in the business of trying to promote what you should and shouldn't do. We're trying to win football games here, Skip. So this is where we are. It's just, it should have never gotten to this point. They could have gotten to AB before he became, when he was just Antonio Brown, and everybody called him Antonio Brown. That's when you rein it in.
That's true.
Because once they go by initials, it's too late. It's over.
T.O.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Skip with your bullshit.
No mercy.
The Cowboys fell to the Cardinals yesterday, 25-22, sliding it to the number 4 seed in the NFC in the process. However, with a win and some help next weekend, Dallas could still climb up to the number 2 or number 3 seed heading into the postseason, which would likely mean they could avoid the Rams and Cardinals in the first round. Now, Shannon, I want to hear if you think the Cowboys will be one and done in the playoffs. But first, we wanted to give you a moment to speak about your former coach, Dan Reeves, who we sadly lost over the weekend.
Yeah, Skip. That was my first NFL coach.
Yep.
And Dan Reeves believed me when no one else did. He believed so much in me that he drafted me in the 7th round, and somehow he liked me so much he forgot to cut me. And he created a position for me that I could stay on the team. And he always told me, he said, son, you're too big, too fast, too strong not to make it in this league. And it really hurt because I stayed in contact with him, Skip, even after he left the Broncos and even after he retired from the NFL. I would bump into him from time to time in Atlanta where he resided. This really hurt, Skip, because he was a great man. I don't know how well you knew Coach Reeves.
Very well.
But he was just a great man, Skip.
Yep.
He was, man, this really hurt me because he was always so proud of me. And so many people have reached out to me and told me just what he thought of me. Some things that he never really shared with me himself, but he told other people that I was one of his favorites. And I'm just so sad. And my thoughts and prayers go out to the Reeves family, his wife, Pam, and I know his son-in-law, Joe DeCamillis. He and I used to work out together. He was the assistant strength and conditioning coach. So, Dan, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Rest in peace, Coach.
Rest in peace to a man that I got to know very well when I covered the Tom Landry Cowboys, because he was the offensive coordinator, and he was as tough as they came.
He was.
But he was as fair as they came.
Yes.
And his players knew his heart was big. It was tough, but it was big.
Yes.
And I tried to help him repeatedly get a head coaching job. And I don't know if you remember this, it was a little before your time, but he failed about 8 times. He came in second, and finally he got your job.
Yep.
And it was fateful. He got your job, because if somebody else gets your job, I don't know what happens to you, right?
That probably doesn't happen.
You just don't know. It's fate. It's like, thank you, God, for that one.
Yep.
And thank you, God, for Dan Reeves, and my thoughts and definitely my prayers are with his family.
Thank you. And back to your Cowboys, Skip. Do I still think the Cowboys will be one and done? Yes, I told you this. I said it's all going to be about the match.
Well, you were starting to fluctuate.
I was down to fluctuate. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You're starting to prevaricate.
I'm like cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Well, I mean, one moment I might be way up, and next minute so right now I'm way up. I'm feeling good about
Last
myself.
week you got to, it depends who they draw.
Right.
Okay, but now you're just like one and done. It doesn't matter.
And guess who it looks like you're going to draw?
It could be those same guys again.
It looks like it could be the Rams, because if the Rams lose and the Cardinals win, you're going to get the Rams.
Okay.
So
bring them on.
Okay, bring them on. Bring them out.
Yep.
It's going to be over for you. Skip, this is not a good matchup for you guys. It's almost like you forget, like, Kyler Murray really wants to run the football. You can't lose contain on him, Skip. He's not a guy, Skip, that you can run past. Because if you run past him, he'll jump out the window and he's going to take off running. And he's not your typical quarterback, Skip. He can he can chew up. That's not Tom Brady running, Skip. He can chew up ground in a hurry. The problem that you guys have, as long as you can generate turnover, Skip, you can be fine, because it's going to set your offense up on short fields. You probably get a scoop and score, get a pick six. The concerns, what happens if your defense doesn't get those, doesn't create those turnovers? Can your offense consistently drive down the field? Have you seen enough of that against a good team? I think the Rams are a very good team. I think the Rams could possibly be a great team. Stafford doesn't turn it over. Now, you might can create turnovers against Stafford.
Maybe.
Then all of a sudden, it's fair play. You guys are in business.
Yep.
But from what I've seen, Skip, I just haven't seen the consistency in the second half of the season that convinces me that you guys have what it takes to go to that next level.
Okay. So you are predicting right here, right now, they will lose their first playoff game at home. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. I'm hoping that you get Arizona or the Rams.
Okay. Well, it's got to be somewhere in there. Could be San Francisco as a long
I don't want
shot.
that. I want
Okay. You want Arizona or the Rams?
Yep. That's what I want.
I am hanging in. I am hanging on because I have believed in this team from the start.
No, you believe since you was a kid.
What's that?
You believed in this team since you was a kid.
But this year's team, I kept telling you, there's something different about this team, something special. Unfortunately, I'm riding the roller coaster because my team is still leading the NFL in points scored. But to your point, many of those points got generated by the defense by a short field.
Yeah.
A la Washington. What I came in the next day, I said, I'm a little concerned because short field. And Dak went bang, bang, bang. And Kellen Moore was on fire calling plays in the red zone. Cash. Well, obviously, my defense will pick six you. It will short field you. It will block punch you for a touchdown.
Yes.
And I saw a stat yesterday, 27 different Cowboys have scored touchdowns this year, and it's by far the most in the NFL. Well, a bunch of them are on defense or special teams, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here came Kyler Murray, and we went back and forth. He obviously grew up in the neighborhood. He's right there, and he never lost a game in high school football. And you made the point, well, he says he didn't like the Cowboys. It just gets in your blood one way or the other, love or hate, but you're inspired playing against the Cowboys. I always say that little Aaron Jones in Green Bay, he just kills us because he's inspired because he grew up a Cowboy fan in El Paso and he just wants to play against Dallas. And everybody wants to play on that stage in that building because it's a national stage on which you feel like great concerts, Final Fours, great boxing matches, whatever it is, it takes place in Jerry World. So it's not really the Cowboys' home, it's the nation's home. It's one of the big stages, a destination stage. So Kyler goes in there, and I thought it was a virtuoso that he played yesterday against a hot defense. He cooled them off because he did not turn the ball over. He threw one pass when he got rushed by Micah Parsons. I just tweeted, I love to see Micah covering downfield. Not, because he just kept covering downfield. If we could see that one throw where Micah roared off the edge and got right in Kyler's little face and forced him to throw it up. It's another one. It's the one in the end zone. I'm not sure we're doing the right one here. Yeah, we'll get it in just a second. But anyway, it's the one that Jaron Kearse has got in his hands. Yeah. If you catch that one, maybe it stems the tide. Maybe it turns
you take points off the board.
You took 3 off the board for sure, and they lost by 3.
Right.
Okay, so they're still leading the league in points scored, which shows you their capability. But here's my theory on this team. It is media motivated. It's just like the old Cowboys. They've always been media motivated or unmotivated. What happens almost predictably with this team? They have a losing streak, and everybody gets way down on them because the pendulum swings from great to get them out of my sight.
Right.
Well, when it's get them out of our sight, they get motivated by it, and when you least expect it, they will explode on somebody because they say, what's Dak? He goes to the podium. I told you, like, watch this. We just showed you what we can be.
Right.
Well, now the pendulum's going to swing all the way back to get them out of our sight, because when it goes the good way, what happened going into the Arizona game? Well, you thought they were going to win easily because Arizona was going south, and Dallas was, what, a 5-point favorite?
5-point favorite.
Okay, 5-point. Watch, if Arizona goes back for a playoff game in what's going to be 2 Sundays? 2 weeks. If they go back for one, watch Arizona be a 3-point favorite. Because
they'll still be favorite.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. If James Conner comes back and maybe they get their corners healthy.
Maybe D-Hop.
I don't know. It's possible.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, your talented rookie said this is a statement game. Mm-hmm. Put the NFL on notice.
Yep.
Did y'all put the NFL on notice?
No. Well, he said we could, but they got to live up. They got to do it.
So
and you said there's no way to have a statement game because Arizona's not good enough.
So what am I supposed to take from this? If they didn't win this game and put the NFL on notice, so what am I supposed to deduce from what I saw yesterday? You're supposed to
write them off. You're supposed to ridicule them because I need you to be part of that media motivation because Mike McCarthy can't motivate them. I'm afraid Dak Prescott, he's now taken over that sideline huddle before the game. Rah, 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 rah. Here we go, 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 go. Right. He's screaming and yelling and almost hyperventilating. And it got you what? It got you off target for the first 3 quarters. They came out flat. But when you least expect it, when everybody writes them off, and by the way, you watch the predictions, if Kyler goes back there for a playoff game, everybody will predict Kyler will win that game. He is 9-0 in that building, counting his high school
normally
playoffs.
When you go to the playoffs, Skip, you normally play good quarterbacks. They're not a Taysom Hill, or Heineke, or Kyle Allen, or Mike Glennon, or Jake Fromm on the opposing team.
All right.
So you're normally going to have to face, you're going to have to see an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Matthew Stafford, or Kyler Murray.
All right. I will predict right here, right now, if it is Arizona or Los Angeles, we will win that game. We will rise up and win that game.
I'm predicting you will not.
I just believe it. You have seen the firepower on display.
Yep.
You have seen the star power on display. If they come out, they have to play scared and play mad. That's how they play. Mm-hmm. When they're right, they can explode on teams.
Yeah, see, like I seen the firepower, I was also seeing the smoldering nothing.
Yeah, you have.
The duds.
Okay, I got it. How many cases would you like to bet? I don't care who the opponent is. I'll bet you 5 cases right now Dallas wins its first game. 5.
Where? Who y'all, the first game?
Yep. First playoff game.
We'll see. Let me see.
Oh, somebody is running.
I'm not gonna let you get somebody get COVID and have to be out of this game. No, that's not gonna happen.
I got 5 cases. That's how much I still believe in my team right here, right now. 5 cases against anybody. I don't care. Bring on the 49ers. You can bring them on. We got this.
If their starting quarterback is healthy. Not the 49ers, but if the starting quarterback is healthy for the Rams or Arizona. You got yourself.
Okay, bring on Matt Stafford or bring on. We owe Kyler, and we will get even with Kyler.
What y'all owe Kyler?
The third time will be the charm.
What about that pep talk? I mean, did Mike McCarthy get him going in preseason?
I have to give the pep talk sitting in this seat on the Friday before that game, and I will.
Y'all terrible.
Yep.
No mercy. Odell Beckham Jr. was clutch for the Rams during their 20-19 victory over the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens. OBJ made a contested catch on 4th down before Matthew Stafford found him again for the game winner the very next play. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive was his performance yesterday?
10.
A 10?
10,
What game
10.
did you watch?
Because he's maximizing the opportunities. He caught the two biggest plays of the game. He doesn't make that play on fourth down, they're not winning the game. This over. It is over. Because I remember you just showing highlight after highlight of him dropping fourth down.
Yeah.
Now he snagged that one, plucked it. Well, that thing just got it. And then they come right back to him. And on the touch, Skip, you do realize this, that since he's been there, he's second in targets and tied with a Cooper Kupp for touchdowns.
Really? Wow.
That means second in targets, second in catch. Oh, so he's doing well, Skip. Look, what people don't understand how hard it is to go from being the guy to being a guy. It happened to me when I went to Baltimore, and people said, well, you're not the same guy. They didn't realize I wasn't getting the same opportunities, but I had to get when the opportunity presented itself, I had to be big play because I wasn't going to get 10 targets a game. I was going to get 2, maybe 3, but I had to make maximize those opportunities. Odell knows he's probably never going to get the same amount of targets, Skip, he got in his first 4 years with the Giants. That's not what he's getting, especially on this team. But when the opportunity presents itself, he's going to have to rise and shine. And he's giving them what they expected. The opportunities is not going to be that many, Odell, but we need you in crucial situations to make a play. He made the 2 biggest plays of the game yesterday and possibly kept them in situation where they can get the number 1 seed and win the division.
Did I just hear you say that Odell Beckham Jr. is now just a guy?
No, he's a guy, Skip, because I'm saying he's not going to get Cooper Kupp. He's not going to get Devontae. He's not going to get Jamar Chase. He's not going to get those targets. So in order for you to be the guy, you've got to get the lion's share of the targets, and he's not going to get that. He still can punish you if you single him one-on-one. And you're going to say, we have little to no respect for you, Odell, so we're going to cover you with our third corner, our fourth corner. He'll punish you.
Well, punish?
Yep.
Interesting. So, big picture, I would like everybody to understand that Odell Beckham Jr. has now played 7 games for the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
He is averaging 3.6 catches per game.
Right.
3.6?
Yeah.
He is averaging 41 yards per game. 3.6 catches for 41 yards a game.
He wouldn't even give Cleveland that, right?
That would be just another guy. That would be what Bill Parcells used to call a JAG, just another guy, J-A-G.
But here's the thing.
Wow.
Think about one of those targets. Matthew Stafford got it picked off because he pre-snapped that he was throwing the post no matter what, and he missed Van Jefferson wide open on the shallow cross. Now, that was a target to Odell. So that was one of the targets. He underthrew, he skipped another one. So that was 2 of the targets that Odell couldn't catch.
Oh, so now it's Matt Stafford's fault. Right?
So who's that pick 6?
It was Baker's fault in Cleveland, now it's Matt's fault.
I'm asking you a question. Whose fault was the pick 6? He pre-snapped, he was going to Higbee. He should have stayed with number 1.
Yep. Could we see those? I just got to see.
Yeah, let's see them.
Matt Stafford's turning into just the same guy.
No.
Not that guy.
No.
Here's Matt Stafford's 3 turnovers. Here's the pick 6.
All he had to do was take Odell.
That was to Tyler Higbee.
If he took Odell, you see he pre-snapped it. Now look at Van Jefferson. Look at Van Jefferson.
That's into triple coverage.
But that's Odell. So is that Odell's fault?
I guess not, but it's Odell-centric.
So whose fault is that one?
Whoops.
Whose fault was that one?
Strip sack. That's Matt Stafford's fault. What have I told you from the start? He has never been in this kind of spotlight before, and there's some reason that he was so many games under 500, even with Megatron in Detroit, correct? So I say he's not that guy. He will not be able to live up. I think Jared Goff will play better in big games.
Stop it.
I'm not going to stop it. Jared Goff got him to the Super Bowl. Can Matt Stafford get him to the Super Bowl?
No, that defense in the run game got him to the Super Bowl. He got in the way. Did you see what happened when the Super Bowl came? He got in the way.
So I heard Rex Ryan the other day on ESPN call the Ravens secondary right now a JV secondary. Is that fair? Because I think they're down to third-string corners all around. So that JV secondary was forced to single cover Odell for most of the game because Cooper Kupp, I think he got triple covered because they put the Devontae Adams treatment on him, didn't they?
Yes.
Because Cooper Kupp, leading the whole NFL in targets, got a grand total of 7 yesterday because Matt just said, I can't do that. They got 3 guys on him.
Yeah, but Skip,
he got 6 for almost 100. He got 95 yards, okay?
Yep.
So look at yards caught yesterday, 95 for Cooper Kupp, and then second was Tyler Higbee, and then third was Van
OBJ.
Jefferson. Oh, well, wait.
OBJ had 5 catches. Don't do that, Skip.
Okay, wait, I'm just going yards.
Okay, well,
yards. Fourth on the team. Fourth on the team yesterday in yards receiving was OBJ.
Who had
fourth? He is now the fourth afterthought for Matt Stafford. So you know what? Since he's that guy, I'll give him a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 yesterday. And impressive. I'll give him a 4.
Since OBJ arrived, he's second on the team in targets and catches, and is tied with Cooper Kupp with 5 TDs.
Okay.
Now Cooper Kupp gets 10 times the targets than OBJ, but they got the same amount of touchdowns.
Interesting. Well, can we see that touchdown yesterday?
Ooh,
because I don't see a defender within 8 yards.
Speed out, sprint option. Sprint option. Get it.
He just
get it.
Is there anybody home? Did they not completely blow the coverage? It's like you got him, I got him, nobody's got him. Who's got him?
I got a touchdown. That's what he got.
But that was clutch. That was clutch. Do it, Odell. Celebrate. Woo, celebrate. Shannon Sharpe gave you a 10 for that. A 10 for that.
What about that catch?
Nobody home.
What about that catch?
There's nobody home.
Hey, can we pull up that catch? I want to see that 4th down catch. This is for the money.
Okay.
If you don't make this with Skip
Actually,
Bayless.
that was for the money.
No.
Yep.
No, Skip. There is no touchdown without. Skip, did he snag it? That's how you pluck it.
Boy, he's got got 3 defenders hanging all over him. Whoops. Yep. Way to go, Odell. Congratulations. At least he can catch. He can really catch.
We're into it. Yeah, he can catch. You saw that. Oh, you the highlight. Odell. You put that in your back pocket.
How can somebody who gets idolized so much on this show by somebody across from me and on social media not be the number 1 receiver?
Because Cooper Kupp.
Be Cooper Kupp?
Stop it, Skip.
Little Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, little Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has more yards, more catches, more touchdowns than Devontae Adams, who you said is the best receiver. Little Cooper Kupp.
That sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Did that.
Little Cooper Kupp.
Little Cooper Kupp is going to be Offensive Player of the Year. That little guy.
Okay. Way to go, Odell. I'll give you a 4.
10.
No mercy. Joe Burrow carved the Chiefs up for 446 yards and 4 touchdowns during the Bengals' 34-31 win. He found Jamar Chase for 266 of those yards and 3 scores. And afterwards, Patrick Mahomes reportedly told Chase, "We'll see you in the playoffs." Shannon, you picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl in the preseason, and you picked them to win yesterday. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much faith did you lose?
I'm a 3. What I saw yesterday, Skip, I wasn't surprised. I thought it would end in a walk-off. Remember I said, Skip, I think it's going to end in a walk-off. But I thought Patrick Mahomes would be the one that get him in field goal range and Buckner would kick the field goal. I've been worried about the Chiefs, Skip, because I thought they were playing inferior competition and the defense was being overvalued. They just do dumb things. Skip, I just need someone to explain to me on 3rd and 27 why Spags. See, Spags coaching to his ego. This is what we do. We play man, we play single high safety. Now, mind you, Jamar Chase had already gone for 10 for 230 and 3 touchdowns. But that wasn't enough. On 3rd and 27, you go single high safety and leave him 1-on-1. Now he gets on 3rd and 27, Skip.
Yep.
Now he gets 33. So now he has 11 for 266.
I was pleasantly shocked by that play.
Exactly. You play coverage, but that's when you coach to your ego. Skip, on the final drive. They had 3 penalties on the final drive, 2 on 4th down. You had 13 penalties, 10 were accepted. When you play that kind of football, it comes back to bite you. But I also told you, Skip, there's a guy that I don't know why, but they keep putting him on the field. Now, what they were in 2 deep, they were in cover 2.
You're talking about number 49?
They're 49. They tried to trap 2. What they mean by that, the corner's going to see him roll, is going to see him run the little stick route, and he's going to jump it. Well, if he's going to jump that, the safety has to get wide because it's a rail shot. Skip, they ran the play before, and Boyd got blown up. Somebody saw it upstairs and says, we're going to come back to that. We're going to flip the formation. And sure enough, Joe Burrow looks at 2. They tried to trap him. Touchdown.
Wow.
But if you think about it, Skip, Tyreek, they had a kick return. After Cincinnati kicked the field goal, the kick return got called back, hold it. Had a 50-plus yard play, the Tyreek.
Yep.
He drops it. They're going to get at least 3 points out of that, Skip.
Although that got broken up, I thought.
But, Skip, you got to make that play.
Okay.
That's Tyreek. I mean, you're first-team All-Pro. You're an all-decade player. You got to make that play.
Okay. So, just for the record, somebody won yet another case of Diet Dew on this game because somebody sitting across from me took the Chiefs. And by the way, the Chiefs were actually favored to win the game by 5 points. So,
I said it wasn't going to be that. I said no.
Somebody took the Bengals sitting on this side of the table, and didn't take any points, just for the record, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to get that on the record.
But Skip, I already told you what type of game it was going to be.
Okay. Oh, so you win that because you said it's going to be that kind of game?
No. I didn't win the bet.
I said it was going to be a shootout and that Patrick Mahomes would come up short. There's something missing in Patrick Mahomes right here, right now. Yes, there is. There's something wrong with his arm. I'm not seeing the velocity from him anymore. Skip. I'm not seeing the confidence. He dinks and dunks more than you think.
That's what you have to do, Skip, because you see what he's doing.
Okay.
He's taking what they're giving him.
Did we see a couple of throws that he made yesterday that should have been picked? Should have been picked.
I thought he had one that should have been picked.
Okay, I got two. Here's the first one.
That one.
Okay,
yep.
Thank you very much.
Try to run the sail in the cover, too.
Okay, and this one. Oh, God, that's almost pick six picked, right? Okay, there are two right there, a couple examples, and still he had a high QBR, so I don't understand that one. But the point was that he ultimately got outplayed by Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like it or not, Joe Burrow made that play on 3rd and 27. It was a great throw.
Right.
Jamar Chase has turned into a great young receiver. And they are rolling, and he is graded number 1 by Pro Football Focus, and I can't argue with it because I think he has flat out arrived.
Yeah.
And I think the Chiefs have not arrived because they've been on the doorstep all year long of, are we this or are we that? And I'm just not seeing it.
Skip, I look at a situation like this. Because Joe Burrow is playing great doesn't mean Patrick Mahomes isn't. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes yesterday.
He did.
I just think the thing is that when you play that shell coverage, Skip, the big-time throws, the deep throws to Tyreek, they got one to Hardman, a 53-yarder, but the throws aren't there. He's doing a great job. He's not forcing it. He took Williams on the rim route. He's taking the shallows. He's taking the easy stuff. Instead of trying to force the ball down the field and fit everything into tight windows, he's no longer doing that. But at the end of the day, Skip, you get a team, you got a holding call, and then you get Chris Jones gets a sack. Skip, you can't let him out of 3rd and 27. You just can't. I don't know why Spag would play single high coverage unless you're coaching to your ego.
I don't know.
When you coach to your ego, Skip, we play what we play. We do what we do. And do what you do got you beat yesterday. Because you should have played a shell coverage and make them, if they got to go, if they skip, if you got to get them, you get them to 4th down, okay, I get it.
Okay.
But you can't play that coverage on 3rd and 27.
So somebody predicted sitting on this side of the table that the Titans would wind up with the number 1 seed, and I think they just did, right?
There's a great chance. They got the Chiefs go to Denver.
Yep.
And the Titans go to the Texans.
Okay. I think they're going to lock up the number 1 seed, and I think Derrick Henry has a chance of coming back. Then the AFC is going to be in trouble. But you still have the Chiefs, or you don't?
Man, the Chiefs. If you said who I believe is the best team right now, I would still say Buffalo.
Would you really?
Yes, I would.
Did you see what Josh Allen did? He threw 3 picks yesterday against Atlanta. Really?
Well, the thing is, Skip, it's hard to overcome that. When you get into the playoffs, you throw 3 picks, you're going home. There will be no Atlantas in the playoffs, even on the AFC side of the football. You throw 3 picks, you're going home.
Interesting.
But
well, the Cowboys are going home to win.
You already know if you throw 3 picks, you know it's over. It's gonna be a demolition for you guys. But y'all going home anyway. I'm gonna get my cases back.
No,
just the Cowboys and the Bucs go get all my cases.
Begun.
Okay, just begun.
No mercy.
Well, the Eagles clinched a playoff spot yesterday, and while Jalen Hurts was walking off the field, a railing at FedEx Field and some fans tumbled dangerously close to the QB. Luckily, nobody appeared to be injured, and Hurts even posed for photos with some of the fans after. Shannon, what was your reaction to this?
It was really scary, and it could have ended worse than what it actually did, Skip. I'm glad to see everybody was okay. Jalen, I'm glad to see he was okay, and he did a great job checking on everybody, seeming to make sure everybody was okay and even posing for pictures. But this kind of reminds you of something like at a concert, Skip, when everybody's trying to get close to the stage, and then something gives way, and unfortunately that happened in Houston a couple of weeks ago, Skip. But this could have been a lot worse. It could have ended a lot worse than it actually did.
I agree. In the end, I was only concerned for Jalen with the COVID contagion out there because he's just like cheek to cheek with everybody taking selfies, right?
Yeah.
But I was very happy nobody got hurt, and it's miraculous nobody got hurt.
It is, Skip, but it just goes to show you when all these fans are leaning and they're trying to like touch your hand or want a glove or want something, and everybody's just leaning on that. I don't really think that's what the railing was there for. It's just like to keep a barrier. But they're going to probably have to go through and check a lot of these things now at these stadiums, Skip, to make sure that doesn't happen, because that could have ended really badly.
I told you the Eagles are going to be the second best team in the East, and because of Jalen Hurts, they are.
Well, that's okay. As long as they might do something bad to y'all this week.
They just might.
Oh!
Yeah,
you better hope
rolling.
not. You better hope not.
Jalen Hurts, leader, winner, gamer, baller.
Where did he start his college career at? Because you know that's what they do. Next week, this time, I'll be doing this, kid.
Where did he end his college career? At the University of Oklahoma.
He didn't get no championship there.
Yeah.
He got a championship where?
Should have won the Heisman.
Don't do that, Skip. You know we got to lock on the Heisman.
Yeah.
Heisman and Natty.
You are going to lose to Georgia. That's what's going to happen to you.
Oh, so not Georgia's your team.
Yeah.
You done went from Oklahoma, Cincinnati. You just going all over trying to find a team to beat the squad.
I got Georgia.
Oh, you got Georgia now.
You should have Georgia. You're from there. But no, you're from Alabama.
St. Nick. I got to ride with St. Nick.
Thank you for spending your morning with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern. But don't go anywhere because the herd starts right now.